Welcome to our Biz Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Cuthbert, Creative Director at Baker Creative. Becky Coffey is the Vice President of Partner Activation and Premium Service for the Columbus Blue Jackets of the National Hockey League. She joined the team in 2015 as Director of Corporate Development Services. In her current strategic role, Becky oversees more than 100 partnership agreements in the customer service provided to owners of the hospitality suites, loge boxes, and terrace tables within Nationwide Arena. An Indiana native and the graduate of Butler University, Becky joined the Columbus Blue Jackets after 15 years with the Chicago Bears football team and prior positions with Palace Sports and Entertainment and the Detroit Pistons and Indiana Pacers. Welcome to the podcast, Becky.
We're so excited to have you on our podcast. I understand you're the VP of Partner Activation and Premium Experience.
That's correct.
So how long have you been there?
I actually just hit my 5-year anniversary with the Blue Jackets and moved here from Chicago. So I've also been here in Columbus for 5 years and honestly love everything about this city, this community, and certainly the organization I work for. So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It went fast. It went super fast.
Well, that always means you're doing a good job, right?
Yes.
So what advice would you give a person in your role with the Seattle Kraken, the team entering the NHL in the 2021 convention draft?
Yeah, so they are a brand new team. They have a lot in front of them related to selling tickets, right? And getting fans excited about the new team. And then obviously there's the other part of the business, which I oversee, which is our sponsorship side of the business. And so you're looking at corporate partners. They announced a naming rights partner. So I think obviously from a business line perspective, as they're coming in, understanding what their mission is, who they are, understanding from a brand perspective, how they want to be out in the community. And they've done a really nice job with that. And so someone that's coming in and aligning with that mission, with that brand statement, can then share that within the community as they're trying to really hit the streets and again, gain as many fans and partners as possible. So we're really excited for them. I actually have a friend who worked with us in corporate sales at the Blue Jackets that is now selling for Seattle's team. So talked to him quite a bit. They're having some great success over there. I think everyone's pretty excited to see a hockey team in Seattle. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the NHL Female Hockey Advisory Committee, the Olympics, and the women's collegiate teams are becoming more visible.
Yep.
So have you noticed an increase in female hockey players, even at a youth level?
Absolutely. So, from a Blue Jackets perspective, one of our priorities is to grow the game of hockey, and specifically in making sure we're diverse in the type of hockey player that we elevate throughout our system. So we have seen a lot more female. We actually have girls hockey programs that we highlight within our game presentation and throughout the season at times. And then obviously you're seeing some, I don't know if you saw last year, but in the All-Star game, they actually had the Olympians participate with NHL All-Stars in the various competitions. So fast to skate and target and things like that. So again, you're starting to see more of that integration there. And I think it allows for those young girls that are watching to see that and have some excitement around it and see a path for them. And then on top of it, you're seeing now too, several women participating or being either consultants or coaching with the NHL teams as well. So pretty excited about that. I know the Blackhawks actually just hired past Olympian to participate and support their coaching staff. So excited about that.
I think it's always cool to have good role models for young girls, especially in the hockey, because there's a lot of spaces where there really isn't, yes. and to have some strong women that really have some focus and really take it to the next level. I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely. And I think we have some great ambassadors. That's what's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So how has the Blue Jackets pivoted in 2020 to stay relevant with fans during this pandemic and prepare for the season that's coming underway?
Yeah, I think like everybody, right? We had to pivot pretty quickly. We ended last season with 5 home games remaining and several away games. So I think we missed a total of 12 games. And obviously at the time, we all thought at some point we were going to be coming back, and certainly didn't know the length of the pandemic and how that would impact our business. So what we did throughout the off season, and this was basically between the time we stopped playing and then our return to play and playoff finish, we tried to engage with fans as best we could through putting hockey, the players in front of them through Zoom calls or opportunities to engage through with our staff through different virtual events. So we had happy hours and certainly had gifting strategies and things like that to really keep us relevant. And then at that time, when we did come back and we came back and participated in the playoffs late summer, it was just an exciting time. I think everyone was excited to see hockey back. So we engaged again with different touch points to make sure they felt the excitement and participated in the playoff run. And then as we quickly shifted to this season and getting ready for that, it's been challenging because we've started. It's a shortened season. It's a 56 game season. No fans as of right now, and we're hopeful that will change in the future. But again, doing different things. We have a hockey from home program that and it's our 20th anniversary too. So that's been a challenge because we really wanted to celebrate our 20th year with all the fans, but we're putting out a lot of unique content that allows fans to engage with either past players, current players, but and certainly executives and hockey ops, but doing a lot of just different touch points that keep us in touch with those customers and clients.
So is there any other plans outside of that kind of address maybe some of challenges that you're facing right now?
Yeah, I think like I said, we're hopeful that we have fans in the building in the next coming couple weeks. But I think the most important thing that we've done is we just try to be as fair and good of have a great relationship with those season ticket holders or clients and understand where they're coming from and how the pandemic has uniquely touched them, and be very sympathetic and understanding of everyone's situation, and just make sure that we're again good partners and appreciate that they're sticking with us. And we're doing a lot of things related to allowing them to make decisions related to how they're going to engage with the Blue Jackets either this year or in the future, and specifically to like season tickets and the partnerships side of our business.
Okay. So then did you notice an increase in individual athlete-driven online content during the pandemic, with players having more time to express themselves more than usual?
We did. I think also the league and a lot of the leagues did encourage players to really start integrating themselves into social media more consistently, just understanding that the brand as a league, and certainly the brand for their teams and them as players, is important to continue to be relevant with fans. So we did see a lot more of that. And then obviously the team took the perspective of trying to elevate some of that through our own channels to make sure that we could highlight those things. So we do a social roundup. And as players are engaged in social activity, we actually capture all that and then share that back out with our fans to make sure they're seeing it, one, and then two, hopefully, subscribing and aligning with them so that they can view their content and what they're keeping up with what they're doing in the future. So,
oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and for me personally, I'm still a fan too. I love seeing what the guys are doing, and I think like anything, players with their dogs tend to be like the most popular thing that in the off season. I think Zach Wierenski picked up a brand new puppy. Another player picked up a puppy. So I think it's funny because those social content pieces did really well on the Blue Jacket side, because people just love to see dogs, dogs and babies.
I know, right? Especially a big guy with a tiny dog, Yeah. So with hockey is much more exciting in person than on TV. And with people becoming accustomed to watching it on TV, do you think there'll be a shift in attendance patterns when you return?
I don't think so. I do. So I have been at the arena watching a couple games without fans. I think while the viewing experience on TV is great, and we've done some nice things related to helping the no fan situation translate easier on TV. We have, you've got the audience, the crowd noise that we've integrated into the broadcast, things like that. there is nothing like sitting in the seat and feeling the energy and high-fiving hopefully some point we'll be able to do that again, but high-fiving, hugging, celebrating a goal. And hockey is such a fun sport because it's so fast, right? So it's a high energy game. And so that translates so well in the audience, and the highs and lows are so much fun. So I don't anticipate that at all being, I think people are actually clamoring to get back as quickly as possible and participate in that fun and that energy.
So how does that compare to some of the other places you've worked with as far as, one sport to another?
Yeah. So when I worked in football, I worked in the NFL for the Chicago Bears for over 15 years.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talked about, and I left in 2015, but one of the hot topics across the league was the audience, the TV audience, because people were experiencing that game up through the TV and through your second screen and apps and all those different things that make the viewing experience awesome, that, they were afraid that it was going to impact their in-stadium attendance. So there was a shift in focus on making sure the in-arena experience or in-stadium experience was elevated. And there's things from outside, right, in the tailgating and certainly bringing it into the game presentation and how you engage with fans during breaks and play and things like that. So I do think that there's, in certain leagues, there is a focus on how to elevate that. I will tell you, though, hockey and the Blue Jackets specifically, we were ranked the second best game presentation across the league. So I think we've got the right mix and have done a really nice job. And again, that high energy game really translates well for in-arena. So.
Now, when we work with other brands, we've noticed the trend where some of the brands have been able to break out into different audiences and really expand to maybe some audiences and attract them that never really considered doing that, because now, everything is shifted, with the TV and on and the internet. Have you seen anything like that?
There's been some focus, I think, on just being more diverse, right? So I think that there's been Columbus is a great city. It's pretty diverse. And I think there's just an opportunity. We're still a young team, but just to really make sure that we're Ohio's hockey team and capture some more diversity. So there are things, and we haven't done anything. We do things like Hockey is for Everyone night, which is actually coming up here shortly, that we incorporate different segments within the community to invite them into hockey and enjoy hockey. And so I think that, yes, we are doing things. I would say that there's probably some more room for growth there for sure, but it's certainly something that's on our radar.
Okay, great. As a female in a prominent position for a men's sports team, how has gender been an asset or a challenge in your role?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that growing up in sports, I played sports. And of course, when I was younger, I thought I could do anything and everything. And then some of that reality came into play. And I think that I've had to learn to be more vocal. I know that at times, I'm actually reading a book right now regarding your inner critic and understanding, what is important to me and how I want to communicate that and at the right moment. So I do think at times I get a little bit of that, like I'm the only one in the room and maybe I shouldn't say anything, but just understanding that I have a lot to bring to the table and having the confidence and making sure that I think, across everything that everyone's doing these days, different perspective and conflict, good conflict is a really great way to elevate your business and strive to be more successful. So I just put myself in that position of, I may have a differing opinion and that's okay. And I'm in a position to express that. So that's the tact I take there.
So that being said, by the way, the book sounds fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah. So then what's the biggest mistake do you see other women leaders or business owners make in this space?
Yeah, I think sometimes I wonder, I would love to see us be champions of each other more often. I do find that sometimes women in positions that, they're successful in, I think others can feel threatened by. So I do feel like there's a little bit of that. And I also feel like that women, we should really, I do believe that, you should bring people up with you constantly, right? It's more about putting and it's an opportunity for me to continue to grow as well. If I've got someone that I'm really putting in a position to be successful and arming them with the responsibilities that as I'm doing that, it allows me some more opportunity to elevate what I do and help me grow and hopefully take that next step. So I think just looking at it that way, championing each other, really find women that have great skill set, have the motivation, that want to take that next step and help them along.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. It's in a different dynamic than male to male for some reason.
Yes.
It is. And I don't know why, but it kind of is.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So then how have you continued to retain and grow the fan and partner base during such a shortened season?
Yeah, it's been, I'll be honest, it's been challenging, right? Because I think a lot of the conversations, people are very interested. And certainly there are several businesses and companies that we're speaking to that are doing really well. But the uncertainty is still sitting out there. And so making significant decisions has been our hurdle. And a lot of what we've done to approach that is just to be very solution oriented and compromised and come up with, okay, well, if we look at this 3-year partnership, maybe we can have some flexibility in the terms of the agreement this year. Or, if, we work through, we eventually do get fans, maybe it can look a little bit different this way. So we've really looked at this year being really unique and then helping them feel confident that we're looking at this in their best interest so that the long-term commitment, they feel more comfortable and confident in agreeing to. So it's just listening, understanding where they're coming from and really helping them with a solution that we think meets all those concerns.
So what corporate partners, what are they looking for in their activations now compared to when you entered this type of role? How has things shifted?
Yeah. So it's funny because when I entered sponsorship activation early, it was so much easier because most brands were, the traditional marketing assets. It was maybe a print ad, a sign, TV spots, and it was getting the creative and checking the box and letting them run with that activation. But now it's all about fan engagement. So, we talk about what the Blue Jackets can bring to a brand is that fan passion, right? And so that connection, that engagement is so critical. And so what we do is we build platforms that allow brands to engage and have fans associate that brand with that engagement. And it elevates, speaking of KPIs, the intent to purchase and things like that really help drive their business. And so we see from a social content, especially, we see a lot more of that. They want unique content that engages fans. So a lot of what fans do want to see are, behind the scenes. Maybe it's like we have, which is not a unique concept, but him or me, right? Where it's 2 players and they throw up like who's a better fighter, right? And then you get Nick Foligno saying like, I'm definitely the better fighter. And Cam Atkinson's like, yeah, you're probably right. He is the better fighter. So, but it's fun stuff like that you can see a little bit behind the scenes with player personalities that you align with a brand and then, they've got that association. So it's really fun.
So then how do you see your role 5 years from now? What does that look like?
Wow. Yeah, I think it's interesting because technology is just, we're continuing to figure that out. There continues to be, it's like we're evolving so quickly in technology that I think my role will be more about managing all those new discussions and helping to determine value. And, we use different tools to measure value and help present that to partners and see how that then can meet their objectives, within their sponsorship. So I think that's going to be the next 5 years is, we talk about, and it's made the media recently, there's player in puck tracking. So they're putting technology in the pucks. They're putting technology on the players, how you're taking that data and then sharing that with fans or, and having people consume that and align that with respective brands to see like, again, a whole nother layer of the game that we've never seen before. So that's kind of the next evolution and excited to be a part of breaking that down and figuring out how we're going to pull all that inventory together and position it for partners that they can be successful with.
So a really exciting way to do storytelling, truly.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I think, you think of the stats right now as, his shot was, he hit it this hard or whatever, but then to your point, storytelling, you can start going back to the him or me example. You can start having a little fun with it, right? With players and talking about how they compare to others. And so, yeah, I think on top of it, when you find the right brand to integrate, it could be really flawless as far as how that story is told and integrated in the brand. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, and how the relationships relationship within the
together.
relationship, and it's super cool to have that inside track, especially from a fan perspective.
Correct.
Really like what do they really like behind the scenes, behind the eyes, and I think that is super fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and giving all this advice and your insights, and I just think it offers a great way to kind of tell your story about the team. So thank you so much for your time.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and hopefully we'll have fans back at Nationwide Arena soon. But until then, I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And I have to end with this. Go Jackets! That's
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you're interested in learning more, visit our website at bakercreative.co.